I see that three Cuban-American members of Congress, Maria Elvira Salazar, Diaz-Balart, and Carlos Gimenez, all commented on Biden's recent decision to take Cuba off the state sponsor of terrorism list. Let's hear what they had to say.
The Biden-Harris administration, in an affront to the national security interests of the United States, and while lying to Congress and to the American people, have given everything possible to the Castro regime so that it can continue to be in power.
It is not the Castro regime. Somebody should tell them that Fidel Castro died 8 years ago. And besides that, the Biden administration has been terrible to Cuba. Instead of following in Obama's path of normalizing relations, it's followed what Trump did, which is put maximum pressure sanctions on Cuba that has hurt the Cuban people.
This is shameful and an aggression to the national security interests of the United States.
What is shameful is that these politicians make their living on trying to overthrow a Cuban government instead of normalizing relations. Cuba does not harbor terrorists. That is just a lie. And as if this is something in the national interest of the U.S., it isn't. Our national interest is to have a good relationship with Cuba and all of our neighbors.
It's a fitting farewell to this disastrous administration.
The disaster is these Cuban-American politicians that refuse to acknowledge that the U.S. does not have the right to intervene in the internal affairs of other countries, whether we're talking about Cuba or anywhere else in Latin America.
But Trump can reverse that the following week. So maybe the Cubans will have a very short party, and that is only a couple of weeks off the list of terrorist countries.
That is so sad that she says maybe the Cubans will have a short party. This is the Cuban people that want to have access to food and medicine, electricity and gasoline and things they need for their basic necessities of life. And Maria Salazar can't wait until Trump comes in to tighten up those sanctions, put Cuba back on this list so that the Cuban people will once again be heard. She thinks that this will help get rid of this regime. They've been trying 60 years to do that. Why don't they try what Obama did, which is normalize relations? Let's help the Cuban people, not hurt them, which is what these Congress people want us to do. Shame on them.